And here we go.
There's the W. Here's ignition.
Roger, roll, Atlantic. Doubling up.
Did it just do a Kerbal?
Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, you know.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, it sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
We did have an observation.
Equalize.
343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly! Bingo! Right in the center.
Where's Jacqueline? There it is!
That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No! Oh my God.
Yikes. You bet. Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Sawyer Rosenstein with NSF. We are a group of space enthusiasts here who are not affiliated with NASA specifically, but we use their name with their permission, and we are here to cover the change of command ceremony aboard the International Space Station. As I'm sure you're aware with the recent news, the Crew-11 astronauts will be returning home early due to a medical issue with one of the crew members. Who or what that issue is, they have yet to specify. And we'll go into more of that in just a moment. I want to introduce myself as Sawyer Rosenstein and say that I am not alone for today's broadcast. I am joined also by Dee Wise, who is at the Kennedy Space Center. Dee, how are you doing?
A nice day, and it's an important tradition here in spaceflight for them to have that change of command ceremony at the ISS, and it's good they can do this with a standardized sort of return, albeit accelerated. And so looking forward to seeing this change of command ceremony take place.
Exactly. So during this ceremony, what we're expecting is that there is typically a commander for each of the expeditions aboard the International Space Station, and currently that is NASA astronaut Mike Fink, who launched aboard Crew-11, and that is the group of 4 that will be returning home from the International Space Station in just a couple of days. Again, quite earlier than expected. So the expectation is that that will be handed off to Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Kudzverkov, who will then become the commander of the International Space Station as the crew of 4 gets ready to return back to Earth. So how did we get here? As you may be aware, we had an incident aboard the International Space Station as they were getting ready for one of their spacewalks, when there was some sort of medical event that came up. Again, as I pointed out earlier, they haven't said exactly what the medical issue was or who it was specifically because of privacy reasons, but whatever it was, it caused them to call off the spacewalk that they were about to do, led to a bunch of private medical conferences that they had on board, and after discussing things with the team members, they decided that the best course of action at this point was going to be to go ahead and end their mission early. During that press conference, which NSF covered, you can see some parts of it there, they basically said that it's out of an abundance of caution, and while it was a serious issue, was the wording that NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman did use, one of the main concerns, of course, is the fact that they want to be able to analyze them using all of the medical devices, equipment, and everything that they have back down here on Earth, because on board the International Space Station, what they do have there, especially in terms of machines to be able to check inside the human body, check all of the systems, a larger array of medications and things, they don't really have that in space because the space is limited, the mass that they can launch on board these resupply vehicles is somewhat limited. So as a result, they want to be able to use all of the medical devices, medications, everything that they have access to, and the best way to do that is to bring that down back to Earth. But as they pointed out, again, this was a non-emergent issue. So basically, it wasn't super critical, or else they could have come back home in a matter of hours, rather than in this case, a matter of days. So that's kind of how we got up to this point. Dee, I know Mike Fink had a post earlier as well on, I believe it was posted to LinkedIn that we saw, kind of updating where he's at and the whole change of crew thing here.
Yes, he did. It was really nice to see that sort of direct communication from someone on the space station. So, of course, he acknowledged the early return, and while he said that it was a bittersweet decision, albeit absolutely the right call to ensure that the astronaut affected is getting the proper treatment here. So it was nice to get this official communication from someone actually up there on the station, and of course the current commander, who we will see hand over command shortly.
Exactly, and you can see there in the post saying, first and foremost, we are all okay. Everyone on board is stable, safe, and well cared for. This is a deliberate decision to allow the right medical evaluations to happen on the ground, where the full range of diagnostic capability exists. It's the right call, even if it's bittersweet. Also including, as you saw, as we were flipping through the photos, Kevin Michael Reed producing the photo of them getting suited up and testing their suits for return. Which is a normal step that they do, and a reminder the decision was made calmly and carefully with people at the center. Also, Mike went on to say, what stands out most to me is how clearly NASA cares about its people. Flight surgeons, engineers, managers, and support teams came together quickly and professionally to chart the best path forward. The ground teams across mission control centers and part organizations around the world have been extraordinary. We are proud of the joint work we've done and the camaraderie we've shared, including some great songs and more than a few dad jokes, of which I approve of that part very much. So also saying that this highlights the strength of NASA's commercial crew program, and our partnership with SpaceX. Dragon provides a safe, reliable, and flexible capability to bring us home on short notice when it's the right thing to do. And again, the International Space Station, of course, will not be uncrewed at this point. While the crew of 4 will be returning, there are still 3 astronauts on board the International Space Station that will remain, who arrived aboard a Soyuz spacecraft that launched from Kazakhstan. That's the MS-28 crew. So you have 2 people named Sergei, who are cosmonauts, and then you also have NASA astronaut Chris Williams. So there is still going to be people on board. It is just going to be a reduced crew. The next crew set to launch is the Crew-12 mission that is also set to launch aboard a Crew Dragon vehicle from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. That mission was originally set to launch closer to March, but that was moved up prior to all of the medical incidents that occurred, and that was decided because of the Artemis II mission to allow for more opportunities and less conflict between those launch opportunities. So that is currently scheduled for mid-February. They did mention in that press conference that they are discussing potentially moving that up here a little bit if the date, times, and crew readiness allows. So not going away totally empty-handed just yet, but those are things that they're considering as they get ready for that. Then we have the actual planned splashdown coming up in a couple of days, and D, we're already seeing notices come out that they're getting ready for those splashdowns.
Absolutely. So there are 3 locations sort of off the California coast that are being looked at as the primary locations that they could target. I believe there were 1 or 2 on an ascending node and 1 on a descending node. And so we've got nav warnings out, and so that undocking would be taking place on Wednesday and the splashdown on Thursday. So we will wait and see exactly which of those locations, but Shannon is in the port of Long Beach still. We expect to see it start moving. And we also we'll be seeing the helicopter continue. It made its way from Dallas out to Long Beach. And so we'll see more of those operations continue, but they've got a bit of time to prepare and get into their location for that.
Exactly. There's still some time, and they have plenty of different splashdown sites that they can choose. It used to be off of the 2 coasts of Florida, both in the Gulf and in the Atlantic, but as of recent, they have now moved all of their Dragon recovery operations out to the West Coast. So you can see there some of those hazard warning areas. Those are the areas where the splashdown is expected. So we'll see whether they end up coming from the top, from the north downward, or kind of from the south upward, whether they end up towards Los Angeles and Long Beach or up near San Francisco in that area. Regardless, once all is said and done, the capsule and all of that will be brought back to Long Beach, which is the same place where Shannon is currently docked, and also where they bring back boosters when they do drone ship landings out on the West Coast. You can see some of that area over there. So we'll see what they end up doing. Of course, the crew then is taken by helicopter back to land. They did also mention in that press conference that they have hospitals always on standby regardless of what the issue is for when a crew returns back. So they will be able to bring whichever astronaut it is who had this medical issue to a hospital if needed, if it is that urgent. Again, they did say non-emergent issue, so it might not be as bad as it seems, but we don't know for sure, because again, they're being very careful on what information they give, given that this is a person's health history, and in the United States, there is something called HIPAA, which is meant to be a patient privacy protection type deal. So they're being very careful to mind that as well. Let's see here. So again, that should be coming up in a couple of minutes here, and once they do start doing that, we will of course bring that to you and be able to discuss everything with you afterwards as well. Lots going on here. So we can answer a couple of questions, at least in the meantime, since there have been some coming in. John Ferris asking, won't the crew need to retrain for the spacewalk not carried out by Crew-11? And along those lines, I mean, yes, they do prepare for spacewalks of all kinds when they're up there. So it is possible that the Crew-12 astronauts might be prepared to do that. They might get some extra training, but they are all trained for these spacewalks regardless. General spacewalk training, they get a kind of list printed up to them every day of what they need to do. They get updated checklists that they do go through. So it is expected that the new crew will be the ones doing that spacewalk once they do come up. Of course, crew safety was super important at that point, and it wasn't a super urgent spacewalk that was, you know, absolutely needed for the ISS to continue to survive. So at that point, the spacewalk, the EVA can wait a little bit. So that's kind of what they did. And someone also pointing out here that there are 2 Dragons aboard the International Space Station right now. I mean, this is just one of 2 Dragons that they have, and right now both U.S. docking ports are actually occupied as a result of that.
Yes, of course, they are having both crew and cargo missions, and so we had a CRS launch. And so while the Crew-11 team will be returning with their Dragon, the other one is occupied with a Dragon from the most recent cargo mission.
Exactly, and that was CRS-33. And Josh King asking, after Crew-11 undocks, is CRS-33 going to undock before Crew-12 launches? I believe so based on the timeline, but I'm not 100% certain. However, what they are able to do, though, is they are able to at least move docking ports between different Dragons. So they typically have one docking port that they use for arriving crew vehicles and arriving Dragon vehicles for that matter. Once it's docked, if there is another Dragon that is scheduled to arrive, they will typically undock that one and then reposition it to the different port aboard the ISS to allow that easier straight-in maneuver for the new vehicle arriving. If it's a crew vehicle that needs to do that maneuvering, then the crew will actually get inside, suit up and everything to move. But in this case, we will see what they end up doing. Plus, it's a cargo Dragon, so that one fully automated. But this crew, again, we saw the photo of them getting suited up, preparing for their re-entry. And it's worth noting, re-entry is kind of a difficult process to begin with, but there are plenty of safeguards in place. There's designs inside the vehicle to make the re-entry as easy as possible on the crew. Because keep in mind, they have been weightless for 4 or 5 months at this point. The muscles and bones and things are kind of getting used to the microgravity environment and aren't as used to that G-force. So all of a sudden you're pushed to about 2 to 3 times your normal body weight. So they actually design the seats inside the Dragon capsule to be able to withstand the forces, to make it easier on the body. They're custom molds as well, typically for each of the astronauts, as well as their custom fit suits to try and make that as easy as possible. You can see now there, this is a live look inside the Mission Control Center for the International Space Station, located at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. So any moment now, we should be hearing from the public affairs officer that they are ready for the ceremony to begin, where they will officially hand over command away from current NASA astronaut
Houston,
Mike
this
Fink.
is the
So let's listen
International
in.
Space Station, Expedition 74. And we're here for a change of command ceremony, and we welcome all of our guests and friends from all over the planet. Today's an important day. We are getting ready. One part of us are getting ready to leave this beautiful space station, and another part is getting ready to take over full command and get ready to be ready for another Dragon crew to come. These are interesting times. This is the International Space Station. We've had continuous human habitation for 25 years. It's a wonder of engineering, a wonder of science, and a wonder of diplomacy. We're from all over the planet, and we're working together. It's a great symbol of what human beings can do. So I'd like to just make a few quick opening remarks. As the outgoing commander, I just want to say thank you for the first part of Expedition 74, but also the last part of Expedition 73. It's been really amazing. My friend Scott Kelly says that spaceflight is the biggest team sport, and it's true. And we got a great team. Everybody really rose to the occasion for our expeditions, and it's been really a pleasure to be here. I thank you all very much for your hard work, for your assistance, and for all the fantastic science and exploration that we worked on together. It was really fun. Some of the jokes weren't so good, but I'll keep trying. In the meantime, this is also a farewell, and so just like to say it's been really great working with you all. I hope that we can stay our family and be our family and friends again back on planet Earth when we meet each other. But along the way, Sergei, it's been great to know you and to serve with you and to steal your spot at dinner time and to make some good jokes with you. Chris, you're going to be the USOS lead in just a few minutes. You are the perfect guy for this. You're going to rock it and roll it. It's going to be amazing. And it was great to have all the handover time with you and to really become a true friend. Yui-san, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Hontou ni arigatou gozaimashita. Kokoro kara na. Thank you so much. You were my buddy when breakfast in the morning and getting out the food bobs, and anytime I needed assistance. You are the best helper. Sorry, Oleg, you used to be the best helper, but you can still be the most handsome. And I look forward to I was with you when you first arrived in space, and when we leave space, I'll be with you, sitting right next to you. Zena, you are a rock star, superstar, awesome star. It's been a pleasure serving with you, watching you see Earth for the first time, riding on the rocket, and now it's coming to an end where we get to go home. It's bittersweet. And with that, Sergei, I'm not giving the command yet. We got to wait for a little bit. Everyone's got to say their piece, but don't worry. All this will be yours. But it was great to know you back on planet Earth, and really great to spend time with you. I wish it were longer, but we have what we have, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to continue working together here, in space maybe, and then for certainly back on planet Earth. Sergei, пожалуйста.
Thank you. Thank you all crew for working well together, and I can only say I wish new commander a safety flight.
Yeah, I think you guys both said it well. I mean, this crew has really worked well together and been just an absolute pleasure to be on board with. You know, your crew are your coworkers, but also your family up here. And I think it's pretty rare that you have families that get along so well and just enjoy being in each other's company so well, so much. And so I think we're very lucky to have that. And it's going to be, we're really sad to say goodbye, but we're also really grateful for the time that we had up here together. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to carrying all of the lessons that you guys have taught us on forward through the rest of Expedition 74. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you guys home safe on Earth.
Yeah, first of all, Mike-san, thank you very much for your great leadership. Yeah, you motivated us, leading us, and also made laugh a lot. Very good, jokes. Yeah, I really wanted to be Mike Fink's serial number 002. Yeah, and I know Sergei-san will be the best, one of the best commander. For the ISS history. I already know you have very good leadership, and I feel very lucky to have all of you. Yeah, I feel like just like family members, and I don't want to actually leave from here, but I just need to leave. But I'm very happy to have same experience, with you. Thank you very much for everything, and thank you for your great support from ground.
First of all, Michael, thank you very much for your leadership, and I know you don't like it, but I know not a lot of ISS commanders, and you, one of my favorite. It's exactly, and thank you for everything what you did for us, and thank you, my crew. We made a lot of great job, and for my friends, Chris and Double Sergeys, I wish you good luck. And also I want to say thank you very much, Ground, for your support and for everything. And ЦУП Москвы also, я уже все перепутал, все языки. Но ЦУП Москвы, я хочу сказать вам большое спасибо. Мы улетаем домой, но спасибо за вашу помощь. И мои коллеги останутся и будут выполнять всю оставшуюся работу. И за меня тоже. Спасибо вам большое.
This has been such an incredible experience. This is a place that I longed to see for myself. I could never have dreamed up a better crew to share this experience with. Michael, thank you so much for being a wonderful commander and building this culture that we have. Our timing of this departure is unexpected, but what was not surprising to me was how well this crew came together as a family to help each other and just take care of each other, and this includes very much our teams on the ground. You have been incredible support through this whole expedition, this whole journey. I'm so proud to have taken part in this. Human spaceflight is complex, but it's not something that anyone can do alone as an individual, and it just has been the honor of a lifetime to share this with you. Thank you so much.
It's really hard to add something, but it's been a pleasure to work with you all, and it's been a pleasure to work with you, Mike, as a commander, not only because of your professionalism, but also because of your ability to build a team spirit. The crew became the real family here, and it was a big pleasure not only work with you, but spend weekends and time after working hours, chatting, communicating, sharing stories. It's really important in space when we are concealed in this inside the space station. So thank you, Mike. Kimi, thank you so much for your experience in video, photo, and of course, thank you for sharing wonderful Japanese kitchen. Desserts are, impossibly good. Yes, Zina, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to work with you, and I saw a lot of professionalism in your work. You always were open and share your experience, and thank you for this thank you for this the feeling of beauty among these tough guys. Yes, it's really important. Oleg, you are a great team member, and I'm really proud to work with you. And that's it. I think that I hope we will work with you many more days on Earth and then in space. You promised a second flight, and not only second, maybe third. We'll see. So Sergey and Chris, it's we have time. We have at least in 1 month ahead, working all three on board the space station, and I see we are build a bond team, and I have no doubts we're gonna work. We're gonna continue working as a family, as a team. So that's it. And the most of all, I really want to say that I appreciate your team, your family, and we'll see you on Earth. And we will looking forward to your return until the very splashdown. Thank you so much. And by the way, today this not only a return home ceremony, it's also a command changing ceremony.
Oh yeah, we should probably
Yes.
do that.
Yes. So I pass mic to you, Mike.
So, Sergey, I have a small personal request before we get to the official handover part. Is I think my first command as commander, not that I give too many commands, was to ask everybody for a group hug. So maybe it's up to you to decide whether that's your first command or not, but not yet. Not yet. Up to you. So that's something to think about. But in the meantime, this is a really precious space station. It's right now in the middle of transition. We have all these cargo vehicles and cargo everywhere. We're leaving you with a lot of work, but also with a lot of knowledge, knowing that you guys are really going to do super well. Sergey, it's an honor and a pleasure to be a commander, and I cannot imagine being happier than to hand over command to you. So we need a special instrument. Oops, my flight suit doesn't want to release it, but it must. This has been passed on for a long time. It's the key to the ISS. So Sergey, do you accept command of the International Space Station?
Yes, I accept command of International Space Station. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Despite all the changes and all the difficulties, we're gonna do our job on board ISS, performing all the scientific tasks, maintenance tasks here, whatever happens. And it's a big honor to be a commander of space station. Thank you, Mike. And I want to command the first command. Let's make a group hug.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Never forget about it.
Yeah.
And of course, no doubts, we want to thank all MCCs around the world for continuous support of the International Space Station. We feel it. We know that you are far from us, but you are one hand close to help us. Thank you so much. Let's continue working together.
And huge thanks to all of you up there from all of us down here. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
handover is officially complete. Sergei Kudzverkov is now the commander of the International Space Station for this portion of Expedition 74 aboard the ISS. And as you can see there, the live views, which recently resumed aboard the International Space Station, as we get ready for the return of Crew-11 and the 4 astronauts on board there. As you saw, we had Mike Fink, Zena Cardman, Kamiya Yui, and Oleg Platonov. They are the 4 that are set to return in the coming days after a approximately 5-month stay cut short aboard the International Space Station due to a medical incident that occurred. I mean, Dee, these ceremonies are always so special. It's amazing to see the camaraderie in the crew.
Absolutely. You know, those are the only people they have direct contact with for an extended period of time, and despite it being cut slightly short here, this has still been their only direct human communication for quite a long time. And so it's really, no doubt, emotional time for them to be handing off that command and preparing to say goodbye for a minute for their friends that will be staying up there for months longer. So it's really special to see, and especially seeing that actual key be handed over. Really, really neat ceremony.
I wonder what door that unlocks. But yes, the key to the ISS, and again, that ringing of the bell, that bell has been there for quite a while. It's also used to denote the arrival of incoming crews as well. It goes all the way back to the shuttle days. You would hear them ring the bell, and then, you know, Endeavour arriving, or whatever the vehicle was. And they still do that, I believe, with Crew Dragon and Starliner when that does happen. So it's always really cool to see the tradition continued on board. Again, the ISS, 25 years in orbit, and as we mentioned, this is also the first time in those 25 years that there has been any kind of medical incident on board that has forced a crew to return early. So that is still coming up, and in terms of the timeline for things, here's what we can expect coming up. On Wednesday, the 14th, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time is when they will begin closing the hatches. And then that should take about a half hour, with 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern Time marking the hatch closure. That will be followed about an hour and 15 minutes later with undocking coverage, and the undocking officially happening at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Following that, the crew will then do a small burns to move away from the ISS and gets outside of its sphere of influence. Following that, they will then work their way towards an official deorbit burn. That is set to happen Thursday, January 15th at 2:50 a.m. Eastern Time. That will allow them to splash down approximately 50 minutes later in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. All of that still to come, and of course, we will be there covering as much of it as we can and providing the views that we are given as well. So stay tuned, all of that still to come. Let me thank some people here for their support during this. DNA to Mars with a $100 tip at tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Thank you so much for that. Saying for Chris B's personal help today and the rest of the NSF crew. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for the kind support there. And for going to tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Also, Glenn and Steve. Steve becoming a Red Team member and Glenn gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you all for the generous support as well through this. It's nice to see the crews all together, and it's a shame to see them come home early, but it's nice to see them all in good spirits. And of course, I also have to thank D Wise for joining me for this today. D, thank you.
Of course, it is an absolute pleasure. It was great to be here. Sorry about the audio today, y'all. As you can tell, I am out in the field preparing for a Starlink launch, so don't miss that in just a couple minutes. It got quite windy right before stream, but thanks for hanging out. See y'all next time.
Yes, Kevin Michael Reed, the one pushing the buttons and pulling the levers for the stream today. Thank you, Kevin, as well. And as Dee just pointed out, stick around here on NSF because as of now at least. The day is not over yet in terms of spaceflight events. We have the Starlink Group 6-97 mission from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. That is currently scheduled to lift off no earlier than 4:08 p.m. Eastern Time. That's just about an hour and 13 minutes from now, and our team, as you saw, out in the field, ready to provide live views and coverage of that. So hang tight for that, and of course we will continue to cover everything with the Crew-11 return in addition to that. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I have been your host for today's broadcast. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you all in just a couple of minutes for Starlink.
And here we go.
There's the W. Here's ignition.
Doubling up.
Did you just do a Kerbal?
Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, you know.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, it sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
We did have an observation.
Equalize.
343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly! Bingo! Right in the center.
Where's Jacqueline? There it is!
That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No! Oh my God.
Yikes. You bet. We don't need any more of these.